We are going to learn about SAFALs. What is the CBSE SAFAL exam? The SAFAL takes a refreshing approach as a low-stake testing program crafted specifically for grade 3rd, 5th, and 8th. For which grades? It was crafted specifically for grades 3rd, 5th, and 8th. Moving past the old days of high pressure exam, it digs into how well students grasp essential literacy and numeracy competencies. CBSE SAFAL exam, it has been implemented in different states. Early implementation of SAFAL in CBSE affiliated school have given crucial insights into how effective digital competency-based assessment have been done. According to the findings of SAFAL pilot in the year 2022 and 23, CBSE conducted field trials and pilot tests across about 2,000 schools, and with nearly 150,000 students were involved. After the pilot study, the research of SAFAL increased considerably. By 2024, more than 1 million students from 11,000 schools took SAFAL assessment. SAFAL structured assessment for analyzing learning. So in this, the strategy should be used is data driven. SAFAL result will be analyzed to enhance teaching methods. The teachers should enhance their teaching methods, curriculum planning, and student support strategies. CBSE SAFAL stands for a structured assessment for analyzing learning. This new type of assessment specifically measures the key competency of students. Gone are the days of just memorizing fact. Previously, in the old age, we are what students are doing, just memorizing the facts and regurgitating them on test day. Regurgitating them on test day means they are just pouring it or utilizing that memorizing facts in during the test hours. With SAFAL, it is all about testing what really matters. The skill kids need to succeed in the real world. Can they think on their feet, apply what they have learned, solve problems? That's what SAFAL aims to find out. So with the help of SAFAL, the students are able to learn, solve problems, and this is the prime aim of SAFAL. It is also part of a National Education Policy 2020 push to get back to basics. Making sure every student has a solid foundation in reading, writing, and mathematics, literacy, and numeracy. SAFAL assessment draw from NCERT textbook and frameworks. But SAFAL goes beyond that. It is feeling the bigger picture, connecting the dots, using knowledge in meaningful ways. It is a shift for sure, but a necessary one, and we need to prepare a student for the challenges they will face beyond the classroom. So this is the main aim of the SAFAL program, to use the student to be prepared for the future. Key features of SAFAL in the year 2021. The language assessed in the pilot assessment, the language we are assessing in the pilot assessment in the first year of implementation will be English and Hindi. The mode of administration for the pilot would be digital. It would be digital with the option of paper-based administration for school with limited infrastructure. The school is having limited infrastructure or lack of internet facilities. So in that school, they had conducted papers-based examination. To this assessment, to this effect, CBSE, in conjunction with Center for Development of Advanced Computing. So CBSE connected with the Center for Development of Advanced Computing would engage with experts to develop a centralized digital and non-adaptive computer-based assessment software. In the first year of the assessment, question papers will be shared with the schools for implementation through digital mode or pen and paper mode. The school which were not having internet facilities. School can conduct the assessment for the students in grade 5th and 8th and upload assessment data. For grade 3rd, the assessment may be implemented in a sample set of schools with 1:1 administration of questions. To provide accurate diagnostic information, the assessment will test competency up to 2 grades below the testing level to ensure the data does not have floor effects. Report cards, that is, the holistic report cards, were generated from the assessment pilots, will report schools' performance on core competency for development of learning outcomes and core competency. Role and responsibilities of CBSE. The CBSE, the Central Board of Secondary Education, is committed to the vision of the New Education Policy 2020 that recommends pedagogy and assessment that promotes critical thinking and more holistic, inquiry-based, discovery-based, discussion-based, analysis-based learning. So the learning should be holistic, learning should be inquiry-based, discovery-based, discussion-based, and analysis-based learning. In line with the primary purpose of assessment as described by National Education Policy 2020, SAFAL will help teachers, students, and the entire schooling system to continuously revise teaching learning processes to optimize learning and development for all students. So there is a continuous revise methodology taken place during the teaching learning processes to optimize learning and development for all students. For this purpose, the CBSE will take necessary steps in the following areas. In future cycle of the assessment, teachers may be given a secure access to student level data on the competency tested through the SAFAL examination. The reports will facilitate teachers' understanding of the student learning levels, and the proficiency descriptors can help teachers understand what students know and can do in different subjects. As the report will be diagnostic in nature, it would avoid disclosing raw or percentage scores to prevent misuse of data for promoting or failing a child. This type of reporting will ensure that every child, irrespective of their performance on the scale, would have at least 3-4 competency that they need to improve upon in a subject, which would be disclosed to their teachers. In view of the New Education Policy 2020, the key focus on skill-based and competency-based assessment and of Nipun Bharat, with its commitment towards improving the achievement of student learning outcomes in the foundational years, the Central Board of Secondary Education is planning to introduce a competency-based assessment to assess student learning outcomes on key competencies. The proposed name of the assessment is Structured Assessment for Analyzing Learning, that is SAFAL. That's a SAFAL. The assessment would be focused on the assessment of core competency. SAFAL result would provide diagnostic data and insights to each student for promoting development of students. Nipun Bharat, National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy. Nipun Bharat, the expanded form is National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy, is a government-led program which was launched in the year 2021 by the Ministry of Education to enhance foundational literacy and numeracy skills in primary schools, aiming for universal acquisition by the year 26-27. The language assessed in the pilot assessment in the first year of implementation will be English and Hindi. The mode of administration for the pilot would be digital and option of paper-based administration when there is a lack of internet facility. So, which this we have known in the previous slide also. So, to this effect, CBSE in conjunction with Center for Development of Advanced Computing would engage with experts to develop a centralized digital and non-adaptive computer-based assessment software. Purpose of SAFAL in CBSE school. What is the purpose of implementing SAFAL assessment system in a school? CBSE introduced SAFAL to move beyond memorization based learning and help students develop critical thinking, analytical reasoning, cognitive skill, real world application skills. So the main motto of the SAFAL assessment is to keep the student away from the rote memorization method, and it helps in improving their critical thinking, cognitive skills, analytical reasoning, and real world able to solve the real world application aspect. क्या we have to job we are going now comparing the traditional exam with the CBSE SAFAL assessment. So previously how we were conducting, so learning approach in the traditional exam, memorization based, it is totally a rote memorization, whether students are using their critical thinking, reasoning, cognitive skills, applying the real world application, it is not involved in that. In traditional exam, the students were merely memorizing the concept. CBSE SAFAL assessment application and conceptual understanding is students are applying. Evaluation style in traditional exam, it was fixed syllabus. The syllabus is fixed and the subject based on the subject. Now in CBSE SAFAL assessment, on the basis of this, there is a competency-based real-world application. Feedback, what are the feedbacks? In traditional exam, we are using marks and grades. We are providing marks and grades to all students. In CBSE SAFAL assessment, feedback system is data-driven insight for learning gaps, to remove the learning gaps. The key findings from this implementation includes we have to improve the students' conceptual understanding. So, it have been a perceptible rise in the problem solving skills of the students. Reduction in learning gaps. Digital assessment system have enabled bridging of learning gaps. So it reducing the learning gaps and it act as a bridge between the all students, bridging of learning gaps, making it possible for interventions to be better targeted. Enhance teacher effectiveness. Educator, which is act as a facilitator, leveraging real-time feedback and performance analytics, have refined their instructional strategies. Greater student confidence. Competency-based testing has promoted a conducive learning environment where critical thinking is encouraged, where students' critical thinking will enhance. Higher digital learning adoption. School with digital assessment have increased engagement in technology-rich learning spaces. The key findings from this implementation includes improved students' conceptual understanding, enhanced teacher effectiveness, greater student confidence, reduction in learning gaps, higher digital learning adoption. Implementing CBSE SAFAL exam in school, a framework to successfully implement CBSE SAFAL exam. School must plan and prepare for the following. Grade specific assessment. It is these tests are carried out for grades 3, 3rd, 5th and 8th, targeting early stage and middle stage learning abilities. Subject scope, core subjects such as mathematics, science and language are covered. This keep the evaluation ideal. Annual implementation, school integrates SAFAL assessment into their academic calendars, ensuring periodic reviews and continuous progress monitoring. Building digital infrastructure, schools should be provided with the smart classrooms, ICT labs, and digital evaluation tools to make SAFAL testing smooth. Teacher trainings. Teachers should be trained in competency-based assessment technique to ensure proper implementation of SAFAL. Regular digital mock tests. Student needs to be accustomed to computer-based evaluation through interactive digital test. Core feature of SAFAL exam. The key features that set SAFAL apart from traditional assessment models are it improves students' foundational literacy, numeracy. It involves multi-dimensional evaluation, digital assessment, skill-based testing. Foundational literacy, numeracy. The CBSE SAFAL exam focuses on early stage language, literacy, numeracy, mathematics, learning to ensure student possesses a solid academic foundation. So, early stage students should have language and mathematics knowledge. So that it has a solid academic foundation. Multi-dimensional evaluation, unlike conventional pattern, old patterns, traditional patterns, SAFAL comprises application-based analytical and logical reasoning questions to assess deeper understanding of students. Digital assessment, as the exam focuses on digital testing platforms, the process is arguably more efficient, accessible, and scalable. Skill-based testing, that's not all, because SAFAL adjusts to different learning levels. It brings out fresh insights into students' respective strengths and improvement areas. So it focuses on student strengths and improvement areas. Who benefits from the CBSE SAFAL exam? It is not about that the student is only getting the benefit from the CBSE SAFAL exam. It is meant to benefit several stakeholders in the education system, and these are students, teachers, schools, and policymakers as well. Students' better understanding of concept rather than the rote memorization, which they were doing in the traditional method of teaching learning processes. Meaningful feedback on the student improvements. It should be given by the teachers, by the facilitators, which could help them reorient their strategy to change their strategy of teaching, so that there should be little learning of gaps or to bridge the learning gaps. Schools should be also benefited, improve academic planning. It improve academic planning and resource uses based on assessments. Policymakers obtain insights into nationwide trends in learning and thus improve curriculum. In this scenario, by using a specialized and advanced edtech platforms, school can easily migrate toward this new framework, maximizing student learning and teaching approaches. How school will use CBSE SAFAL? Integrate into academic structure, improving personalized learning, teacher development and training, engaging all stakeholders, and the strategy should be data-driven. So, SAFAL will utilize the following main ways: integrating into academic structure to get a clear picture of where students are at in core subjects. Also, it shows educators what students know and where they need more support. With this information, school can adjust their approach, maybe spending more time on trouble spots, searching for the learning gaps also. Improving personalized learnings. By understanding each student's strength and weakness, SAFAL enables schools to craft specific learning programs and remedial action. For the remedial student, the school should be able to conduct remedial classes. Teachers' development and training. So, implement the SAFAL more efficiently and effectively. Teachers will be trained on competency-based learning methods and effective utilization of SAFAL data for improving instruction. Engaging all stakeholders. Parents and education stakeholders will be engaged by schools through the sharing of SAFAL assessment information, promoting collaborative student development. So it helps in promoting collaborative student development. It helps in developments of collaboration between the students and other stakeholders. The strategy should be data driven. SAFAL results will be analyzed to enhance teaching methods. The main ambition of the main motto of the SAFAL is to enhance teaching methodologies, curriculum plannings, curriculum design, and student support strategies. There should be no learning gaps. CBSE SAFAL exam, how has it been implemented in different stages? So early implementation of SAFAL in CBSE affiliated school has given crucial insights into how effective digitally competency-based assessment have been. CBSE SAFAL exam, how teacher can adapt, how the teachers can adapt it and can use it. So teachers, as expected, facilitators have a huge role to play in implementing SAFAL. Some of their responsibilities would be as follows. Transition to competency-based teaching. The teachers should use competency-based teaching methodology instead of always using the lecture method or for aligning lesson plans from rote memorization to conceptual and application based knowledge. So teachers should use conceptual and application based knowledge in their classroom. Harnessing data for teaching, utilizing the result of assessment through SAFAL to point out areas of learning gaps and adjust lesson plan accordingly, and to change the teaching methodology according to the learning gaps to reduce the learning gaps. Continuous professional developments. Teachers should be always participating in training programs on competency-based education and digital assessment. How can school use SAFAL? SAFAL data reporting school performance on predetermined competency and proficiency levels can be used by school system, by school managements and parents to improve learning outcomes. So this is the main motto of the SAFAL, to improve learning outcomes and to reduce the learning gaps. Student data will not be publicly disclosed. It is the important point. The student data will not be publicly disclosed and the data won't be used to pass or fail students. Additionally, the school reports would provide insights and suggestions for strategic intervention. The school reports would provide insights and suggestions for strategic intervention mapped to key areas of improvement identified via the assessment. So it is identified with the help of assessment. This would provide principal and teachers with actionable steps that would drive change from bottom of right from the classroom level. The assessment will provide diagnostic information to school on core competency. SAFAL reports school performance on each competency and proficiency level to identify areas of focus and guide schools toward improving their learning levels. It is a main thing is to improve the teaching learning methodology and to improve the learning levels. How can parents use SAFAL? Assess performance of your child's school can on core concept. The school are using the conceptual methods, competency-based methods, support at home learning for children to shift away from rote memorization and shift to skill-based and competency-based education. So the students shift away from rote memorization and shift to skill-based and competency-based education. Role and responsibility of CBSE Future Outlook SAFAL. It develops fair, reliable, and valid competency-based framework and items in collaboration with national and international experts, provides adequate support in the development of necessary tools for the seamless implementation of SAFAL across different schools in the country. Take adequate measures to build capacity for developing high quality training tools and test instruments for SAFAL. Engage and communicate with the schools to build silence around the importance of a competency-based assessment and based on student learning outcomes. Take adequate measures to conduct the pilot of SAFAL in a safe and secure manner in compliance with ongoing health advisories across the country. provide insights generated from SAFAL to classroom in a timely manner, and support schools in undertaking academic intervention. Support school in using SAFAL data for improving outcomes through academic and management support. These are few acronyms which are related with the education. You also know CBSE is Central Board of Secondary Education. CDAC is Center for Development of Advanced Computing. FLAAN, foundational. F stands for foundational. L, literacy. A, and numeracy. MOE, Ministry of Education. NAS, National Achievement Survey. NEPLAN, National Assessment Program, Literacy and Numeracy. NEP, National Education Policy. NCERT, National Council of Educational Research and Training. PISA, Program for International Student Assessment. SAFAL, as we have accumulated, we have gathered so too many knowledge about the SAFAL and how the school are using it for the improvement of students' learning outcome.